Okay, some very interesting things are going down, and the SEC is at the spearhead of it all. First of all, we've got Gary Gensler saying the SEC has 8 to 10 filings on Bitcoin ETFs in front of the commission, which basically means there is quite a lot of parties that want to get their Bitcoin spot ETF approved, and all we gotta wait for is for the SEC to break. It's as simple as that. At some point, they are going to cave in. It's just a matter of how long is their breath, how long can they hold out, because BlackRock has been seeding their investment. These guys know it's going to get approved. We just don't know exactly when. And it's actually interesting somebody put this little pictograph here down, because this is actually a pretty good representation of how these things usually go. You can exchange this for XRP, you can exchange this for whatever cryptocurrency you want. You can actually exchange it with nearly anything and it would work. The general idea here being, when you are at the best of chances, but at a low price, nobody wants it. Why? Well, the price is low, the interest is low. Is this thing really gonna ever go back up? But then once things are very exciting, things do not get less risky. No, in theory, they get riskier because now the price is over double what it was before. So in theory, you have a lot more way to go down rather than upwards. So the asset gets riskier. But since the momentum has been upwards, since other people are excited, the sheep follow the herd, which is why I'm so excited that you guys are watching these videos now that things are still relatively low. Because it is quite true that Bitcoin at $35,000 last year felt like this, and now it's feeling like this, which is kind of funny. And now another part has to do with what's kind of trending over on Twitter. A lot of people are all of a sudden talking about the Ripple versus SEC coming to either a conclusion or at least the SEC putting up how much they want from Ripple in fines. I think for the most part it's because Whale Watcher or whatever right here posted a couple different things. He first of all said just in the SEC seeks $770 million in penalties from Ripple. But together with that were a couple of additional interesting things. JP Morgan says an SEC rejection of Bitcoin spot ETFs could lead to lawsuits because, as we've seen in the Grayscale case, apparently the SEC doesn't really have proper grounds to actually deny the ETF, so it would kind of be against the law, which is peculiar. Apparently the UK also just passed a bill to enable authorities to seize Bitcoin used for crime. Now, out of everything, I don't think that is bad from what it sounds like. In the reality of things, this is a very, very thin line. First of all, how can they exactly seize it, right? But also, does this mean it can only be seized once you have been convicted of crime or once you've been accused of crime? At the end of the day, this makes the system kind of flawed again if they can just pull your money out, because crypto should be a push-only system. On the contrary, if somebody stole a lot of freaking money and now they're, going to jail, and the money can't be sent to other people, to the people who he stole from, yeah, I do think that's also messed up. So let's just move on. Uphold apparently announced rewards designed to incentivize XRP holders. That could be very interesting. I wonder what that's going to be. And if you guys have not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press that like button. You probably didn't need this information, but I'm wearing no pants and my window is there's a big building. I think there's at least 200, 300 rooms that can watch right into me because I've got a very freaking light in my face. You might ask yourself, Dusty, why are you not closing the curtains? Because that's no fun. Talking about fun, a lot of you guys might like this. If you've been using Binance in the US, well, you might get yourself a little lucky today. We're thrilled to announce that the Flare Network's airdrop for XRP holders is finally here. Took some sweet-ass time, but it's here. Binance US has successfully airdropped Flare on the 25th of October, 10 a.m. to XRP holders with a balance of over 10 XRP during the snapshot in 2020. Now, I'm not a really big fan of Flare anymore. As I've said before, I think they were basically using the XRP community for own personal gain. And regardless of what you think about this, it's really nice that people are getting the money that was owed to them. Really big shame on Binance that they never gave it out earlier. And just to close in on the story, there was an interesting little debate actually going on a little bit earlier. You can see Bill Morgan said, "It'll heat up, not settle. The remedies phase in the SEC v Ripple matter will be full on. I was refreshing my memory from the letters the parties sent to the court about the SEC's intention to pursue the ultimately doomed motion for permission to file an intellectual appeal. And according to the SEC in its letter, the remedies phase of the proceedings promised to be protracted and heavily litigated, with additional fact and expert discovery. Point being, this guy right here, we'll cover this a little bit more in depth later, I'll save it to dive into deeper, is saying that this lawsuit is going to get a significant amount heavier. And John Deaton said something really quite interesting, but we actually have got a little video of it, so let's take a look at that.
What everybody's waiting for the SEC to pivot, right? And I think that's the question. Is the dismissal, does that give any insight that they're pivoting? I don't think so, but I didn't know if you thought that dismissal coupled with the Bitcoin ATF and all that stuff that's going on now, do you see the SEC pivoting and lessening their anti-crypto approach, Jeremy?
I'm gonna pass to Tim on this one.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think these trial level defeats do anything. I think it's more on the appellate level. So I don't think so.
No, I'm with you, because I think a lot of people, the SEC, even though the Southern District of New York is obviously the more prevalent jurisdiction, financial markets in our country, right now you've got a library decision that found against them, and you've got this Ripple decision. There are two district court decisions, and I think that point of this isn't, the Second Circuit or an appellate court coming down and handling it. I don't think it's going to force the SEC's hand at all. Let me ask you, I'm going to put you on the spot. Jeremy, you're famous now for these percentages. How does this end? How does this, when all's said and done, how does this case end?
This case ends, and I'm calling this one for the first time ever. You heard it first on Crypto Law. This case ends at an appeal by Ripple on its blue sky defense, and the Second Circuit agrees with Ripple, and Ripple walks away with the big W across all three categories of sales.
Whoa, that is a bold prediction, and thank you for sharing that. You even got close to the camera.
51.6% chance of that happening.
What say you, young lady?
I stand by my husband, not his butt.
Outstanding.
So all I'll say about it is, if you thought that the spice melange was completely set over in Smelton already, no. We're gonna probably be seeing some interesting stuff. But for the most part, it's not as if we're going to be losing. XRP is not a security that cannot change. The Ripple lawsuit itself, in the reality of things, it's all about fines now. And I don't really care about Ripple's fines. I mostly care about the SEC being grilled, and I'd gladly wake up for that every single day. I think that all these articles are just talking about what the original complaint from the SEC is all about, because of course they're talking about a $770 million violation, but it seems to me there is no new information that just came out. It says right here, this is funny, this article was generated with AI. Damn. And since we're on the topic of covering some crazy things, there's actually something that happened with regards to Binance, but I honestly don't think this type of stuff is breaking news anymore. Binance had many issues throughout time, but they always fix themselves up pretty quickly. So basically, Binance had a withdrawal issue. I got some texts from it, but guys, at the end of the day, any one of these moments could be the last for any exchange. And so if this scares you, you probably were relying on an exchange too much. On the contrary, if Binance goes down, the entirety of crypto is going down for a very, very bumpy ride for a good bit of time. So I wouldn't say you should be hoping for it. Unless, of course, you want yourself a juicy crypto discount, which I can't disagree with. Last but not least, apparently Coinbase just gave us a little update. An oral argument on our motion for summary judgment has been set. January 17th. We appreciate the court's swift attention to this matter and look forward to answering the court's questions. So That, ladies and gentlemen, is also going to be coming up quite shortly. Generally speaking, quite an interesting time for crypto. Obviously, we are seeing continued progression with the whole Bitcoin ETF scheme. At the end of the day, though, it's just a matter of time. And understand that the most important things to focus on right now are this. Make a plan the investments. What that means is just understand exactly what you want to do with regards to investments. When you're done, when you want to pull out. Pulling out is the most important part. Or maybe you don't want to, maybe you want to leave everything in and accept the consequences. No, in reality, right? I've held a lot of cryptos longer than I should have, and I've learned from that. What you learn is you never know where exactly the top is going to be, but very often you've got yourself a gauge, and it's worth selling into the top because that way you secure profits for other ventures. And other ventures might be to start up a new business, start up a different business, diversify away from crypto, or potentially just to buy the dip back. Buy when things are bad again. As we said earlier, when prices are higher, they get riskier, not less risky like many people seem to believe. So if you're ever thinking of buying, buy when it's as low as possible. Even though you might think in the back of your head, oh, but it might fall more. Yes, but the higher it goes, the more it could fall. So it's better to try it now than wait. But that's just my thoughts. A lot of you guys always commented, and it's the most important saying in investing ever. It's not timing the market, it's time in the market. But when it comes to crypto, I'd say it's a lot more important to sell peaks and sell out as well than with stocks. Unless you're fine with waiting another 10 years or so. Most people are not, though. Most people want to get money quick. So then the best thing is to just try a little bit harder to find where the peak is going to be and at least sell your riskier altcoins, your meme coins, your garbage coins. Solid ones, yeah, you could probably keep it for the next decade or so. You'll be fine. But shit coins, no. Don't marry them. But yeah, build your strategy right now because we're still relatively low. You could surely just wake up tomorrow or the day after and Bitcoin being at 41,000 or at least let's say 39. It really can go that quickly. And you know, that moment that Bitcoin gets close to an all-time high, altcoins are going to go absolutely wild. And that's the moment where you probably are not going to be able to sleep anymore. You probably should not be going to parties anymore because we're going to be actively looking for the best crypto to buy every single day. And I think a lot of you guys are going to become millionaires in just a few weeks if you play the game right. It's that crazy. Even one crypto YouTuber, you guys might know him. I will leave him a little bit anonymous for the sake of his own privacy, even though I do think he shares his own story on YouTube too. I think he turned 1 million into 99, that's what he showed us at least, within like 3 months or something like that, by just aping into altcoins. Is that crazy? And his assistant made millions of dollars because he basically got a percentage of the things that he brought in, but it's just really massive and crazy an actual bull market. Just trust me when I say that it's going to probably blow your expectations. And yeah, we're getting closer and closer to it. Make sure you're ready. That's about it.